Sine 60 equals 27 sine C. To get sine C by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 27. So I want you to just have a moment here. Let's think about sine 60. Is sine X or Y? So my side length choices on the unit circle are what? On 60 or 30? I have two side length choices. It's making you recall the unit circle, right? Because the more you start processing that stuff and figuring it out, the more you will understand. So is it 1/2 or root 3 over 2? So that's what you said, right? So if we do, just a little side light here. So if we're thinking about unit circle and we're thinking about a 60-degree angle, right? So that would be roughly 60 degrees right here. So which side's the 1/2 side? X or Y? Because if you do in your calculator right now, do root 3 divided by 2, tell me what you get. I think you get, is it 0.866? Yeah, 0.866. So 0.866. And 1/2 is obviously 0.5. So this means this side's got to be the root 3 over 2 side, right? So like if I were teaching you advanced pre-calc, I would never give you the unit circle. I'd make you figure it out every single time, right? So I think about 60 and I know y is the long side. So I know the y value is root 3 over 2 and the other one's 1/2. And if I get that single side length, I can figure out the rest of quadrant 1. And if I can figure out quadrant 1, all I do is switch the signs for quadrant 2, 3, and 4. And then I've got all the side lengths on the unit circle, right? So if you forget, that's something you can do. The long side's the root 3 over 2 side. And you can easily tell on this picture, this side is longer than that side, right? So this is the y side, right? Because it's going up the y-axis. This is the x side because it's going along the x-axis. So if you think about it like that, it makes it like that's all I need to get all the side lengths on the unit circle is figure out one of them. I'm just like trying to make you think about pre-calculus. That's all, right? Because it was a good segue because I have sine of 60 here. And when I was teaching first period, I was like, I thought it was 1/2 at first. And then I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute, that's a root 3 over 2 side. Because it would just make it easy to do this problem if that were 1/2. So you can just kind of think about these things because you'll understand more of the pre-calc. And then when you get to calculus and you get your butt kicked because it's super hard, it'll help you just greater understanding is always better.
So does that mean you could substitute root 3 over 2 in for sine 60?
Yes, literally, yeah.
So that's like
Yeah, right. You could totally, and especially if it's like sine of 30, then it's just 0.5, and that's really easy, right? Yeah, it's handy. Okay, so we're going to have, I'm just going to make this, well, let's write it like this. We'll go sine C equals 30 sine 60 over 27. So put that in your calculator, 30 sine 60 divided by 27. Tell me what you get. And then I'll show you easier way. It's not that big a deal, but give me 4 decimal places, rounded correctly. 0.9623. Now go second sign, second negative. Second sign, or go, let me just do it on the calculator. I'm saying it wrong. So what was it? 30 sine 60, right? Divided by 27. Divide by 27. So I get that decimal. Now I can go second sign, that's right. And then second, I hit this negative down here, right here. And it'll take the previous answer. And then I can just hit enter. Right? So my angle measure is 74.2 degrees. Okay? So you go second sign, second negative. See the A and S above negative? That'll take your previous answer. It's a really handy button to know on the calculator. Now, if my decimal up there, 0.962223 rather, 0.9623 rounded, was 1.2, what's the problem? look at the top part of your page you're doing. It's got to be between what two values? -1 and 1. So if you do that sign fraction and you get like 1.4, you're done. No triangle, right? So the triangle is not possible is what that means if you get a bigger decimal than smaller than -1 or bigger than +1. So this one works, and when we did inverse sine of that, we got C equals 74.2 degrees. Don't forget the little degrees. It's a super irritating half point off for you, and I will write haha next to your paper to rub it in. Okay, so 74.2 degrees. Okay, so if I needed to find angle B, what would I do? Just 180 minus the other two, right? And then I could figure out B by doing law of sines again. Okay, so no problem. All right, write down number 7. So B is 34. And then just set it up on your own. This is the last example we're going to do. And then I'm just going to talk about a couple homework answers because it'll help you understand more of this ambiguous case concept. Oh, you know what I forgot? Just write this one down, set it up, and we're going to go back. I need to explain one more thing on number 6 I forgot about. We'll just finish this one first. So you should have that fraction, right? And then when you plug it in your calculator, you get like 1 point, somebody tell me, 1.3. So you get sine B equals 1.3. So if you were to do inverse sine of 1.3, you would get an error message, meaning 1.3 is outside of the domain. And there's no triangle. Which means no triangle. So the thing I forgot about on number 6 is we need to check and see if we know there's one triangle because we got an angle measure. We need to check and see if there are two triangles. So like the woman was talking about on the video, this is this 74.2 obtuse or acute? Acute, right? Because it's less than what? 90, just to remind people that forgot, right? So she was saying in the video, I need to take 180 minus 74.2. What do I get? 105.8. So now what I got to do is I got to look at my original triangle here. So this angle could also be 105.8 degrees. So if I add 60 and 74.2, I can still come up with another angle, right? Because 60 plus 74.2 is less than 180. If I add 60 and 105.8, do I still have enough room for another triangle? Right, yeah, because I've got like 165.8. So I can still get like 14 and change degrees up here for that second triangle. So this one means I know that there are two triangles. Okay, so your answer would be on this exact question, these two, and the fact that there can be two triangles. Okay, so if we get this angle and this one doesn't work, you can just cross it off, and then I know you know there's one triangle. Okay, so I want to review that concept by looking at a homework answer once you've written that down. So we know there are two triangles, the two angle measures. It's a good one to highlight too, because sometimes your work ends up all over the place. So those are my two angles at work, so I know that I have two triangles. So if we look at, I just want to show you homework. So let's look at this one over here, number 9, which is part of your homework, right? So if we, and you can just look up here, it's not going to really help you to look at your paper, but we did law of sines and figured out that the first angle was 38 degrees. And then we did 180 minus 38 and got that 142 right here. So if I look at 142 and 95, is that less or more than 180? More than 180, so that's why the 142 does not work, right? Whereas on this one up here, we did the double check in 105 and 60, we're good, right? I still have some 14.2 left for that second triangle, and obviously the 74.2 will work, okay? So for those of you that weren't here on Friday, look at your assignment sheet. It's on the front of your packet. Please God, do not lose your packet, because then you get to redo all your homework assignments, and that'd be very sad for you. Because what I'm going to do is come around and just stamp your packet, and then at the end of this is a weird chapter, right? Because we do some of chapter 5, some of chapter 7, and some of chapter 8. And this packet goes through Thanksgiving break, just so you know. So yes, it's fat, but we've got a whole month essentially to work on it. Well, 3 weeks. So don't lose it, because I'm going to come around and stamp your packet. Once you get the chapter test, we'll tear off that front page. You write name and class period on there, and I'll total however many stamps you have. Or I'll get that needs more work stamp out as well if you need more work. And then I'll take points off. Okay? So just make sure you got it all in and you're good. And the assignment's on that packet, so look at the front page and you know what your homework is. Bust a move. Get her done.